Welcome to the Southern Oracle. My name is Shade and I would like to bring up a very important subject. The subject is anger and rage. So actually somebody posted in one of the groups a sentence. I'm not going through the whole post, but the first beginning is important. Nobody talks about the angry stage of healing. Actually, when we're talking about healing or when we're talking about the 4 stages of acceptance, we have denial, we have dealing, we have depression, and we do have anger. But quite rarely I meet people during my coachings that like to bring up the subject of rage, of anger. And in the text, it was about the rage you feel when you realize how much and for how long you were taken advantage of. No, that's actually not the point, and that is what is the first step that is very important. It is not a rage and an anger we have against or towards other ones. Actually, it's our anger against ourselves that we are projecting onto other ones. We believe that it is somebody else's fault. And this is the first way we are going to live through the anger. But the real point behind it is that actually it's the anger we have against ourselves. But what I was always wondering about is, where does the anger come from? So what is actually the core of the anger? Because there are a lot of things in it. I came to the conclusion that the anger is only the result of something, and that the anger is not the point in itself. It is a little bit as if you have a certain power, a certain energy, and if you keep it locked down, it has to build up, like the pressure of water that you keep behind a door. And as the pressure is building up and building up, the water will break through the door. And here the same way, the anger is the thing that is going to break through it. But it wasn't anger in the beginning. And I think this is the most important part about anger. Because especially concerning our Christian raisings that we have in our regions, we have to be kind, especially as women. We have to be nice and kind. And it is not that the moment we express anger that we are going to be stopped. We are stopped far before anything that comes close to anger is showing up. It is quite interesting that actually it shows up, or we are going to be stopped. We are stopped the moment we're talking about something we want. So, as a child, the moment we start saying, oh, I want to have this, either it is, not now, or you have already so much, or you should leave the other those things for other ones. You are very egotistic and you only think of yourself. And that is actually the moment that we're just locking our will down. We are locking it in. We're keeping it closed in. And this will base is on the will to survive. And that is the one that is being kept back and held back. So it's not anger the problem. It is the problem that we dare to want things. And I'm not talking about you are going shopping and you want a new ring or you want something. No, it is the same anger actually that comes from the moment when you are a child, when you are not even born, and the mother's body is not capable of feeding you so that you can survive, and you want to survive and you want to push out of your mother's body because it's the only way that you have to survive. It is your will, your willingness to survive and to live. And the moment you are born and you shout out because you are hungry, people are going to do everything to soothe you, either by just hushing you down or to leave you alone so that you have to self-soothe in a moment where you do not even know what it means to go through those emotions. So anger is not the beginning of it. Anger starts with a will, a basic will to survive. And it builds up into fear. And then it pushes through whatever we put onto this lid to keep it down, and that is what is anger. So maybe instead of wondering if we are angry against ourselves or angry against other ones, and that we are going to project our own inner anger onto other ones, or if it is really someone else's fault, we're going for that feeling of anger. Maybe the real healing process means to become aware that it was not always anger, but it was something else entirely, something beautiful. The will to live, to see life as something beautiful, to consider ourselves as something beautiful and as something worthy of love and of life. And maybe if we start nourishing that part, we do not need to go through the anger. And maybe if those who have children start understanding that the moment a child is saying, I want to have something, we can teach children to canalize this instead of putting a lid onto it. We can teach children to channel the energy of the pure power of living into something to get what we really want. I'm not talking, as I said, about some normal stuff, but what in our heart we really want. And so we can actually heal the process before it becomes something as uncontrollable as rage or anger. Maybe this gives you something along, maybe get something out of this, to take a real good look at you and to become aware that you are not that angry person, but that you are a person who just wanted to be alive and who wants to be alive, and the only way people are going to hear you is because you are shouting it out in anger, instead of finding some ways for yourself to say, I don't want to go into those destructive feelings, but the power is an amazing one to be used to build something instead of destroying. I hope this helps you on your way, and as always, thank you for listening.